welcome to Home Means. I'm your host, Heather Brown, and this is a place where we uncover the real stories behind the people who make our state extraordinary. From the unforgettable adventures to everyday moments that shape us, this podcast is all about the voices, the faces, and the experiences that make Nevada truly unique. Let's dive in and get to the heart of what home means. On today's episode, we have the Clark County Economic Development Director, Shani Coleman. Hi, Shani.
Hi, Heather.
I'm really excited to have you on the Home Means podcast.
I'm excited to be here.
We've known each other for a while now.
Yeah.
And obviously, we both work in economic development, but I also think we're both passionate about economic development.
Most definitely.
It is never something I thought I would do.
Really?
Never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But I think I realized how impactful it can be.
Yeah.
And the more I started doing higher ed work, obviously being a regent, I realized that the workforce pipeline needed to be in a daily conversation with economic development.
Yeah.
Because the two needed to work together.
Economic development is not something that people wake up and say, oh my God, I'm going to be an economic developer, right? It's just like one of those things happenstance people just kind of fall into. Like I got into it by happenstance, right? I worked in commercial real estate, and this was during the recession, and nothing was really happening, nothing was going on, and City of Las Vegas had this opportunity, and they were doing stuff downtown, and I was all like, well, I could utilize my expertise, my real estate expertise, and do that. And so I did it, and then just kind of fell in love with it. And so I've been doing this now for almost 20 years. Yeah, I started when I was 10.
Oh, she's a prodigy, y'all.
Oh,
Prodigy.
Exactly. I'm a product of Clark County School District.
Very proud, me too.
Yes.
Western High School.
Valley.
Okay.
I'm a Valley girl.
You and Mayor Berkeley.
Yes.
Also, product of CCSD. You're also a Las Vegas native.
Born and raised.
Love it. What did growing up here actually teach you, and how did that help you be a good advocate for its future?
Ooh, growing up here. I think adaptability, right? One of the things that I see our primary industry is they're always adapting, right? So I lived through, I'm not going to tell my age, but I lived through the days when we were family friendly, right? And now how we've transitioned into, I think, which is more appropriate, luxury, and it's not even quiet luxury. It's just like in your face, like we're just going to be bold and audacious about it. So I think adaptability, and I think that's the same thing you have to do when you think about economic development, especially in a place like this that has such a strong image to hospitality and tourism. And, the work we do is about diversifying our economy, right? And so I think you really need to be intentional about looking at other opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities, kind of like the Strip did, right?
Yeah.
They saw an opportunity where they thought, oh, well, more families maybe want to come here, and they tried it. And, I think we're in a good place right now.
Yeah. I want to believe, because I also grew up in the family forward era, and I want to say it worked. It just didn't bring the same amount of gravitas and money that it wanted, and so they went very sex forward.
Exactly.
And then that was a different loyalty brand.
Yeah.
And I do think that we've fallen in a really good,
a nice balance, right?
It helps bring F1 in.
Exactly.
We've got
Super Bowl.
I mean, Super Bowl. The fact that we couldn't even advertise at the Super Bowl, and now we're hosting the most profitable Super Bowl in NFL history. Put that on a billboard.
Yep.
And I also just think that, and this is history lesson for anybody who doesn't know, but we almost lost our statehood after it was given to us.
Right.
Because we're losing population.
Right.
So people 100 years ago were like, well, what do we do?
Right.
And that's when they came up with the no-fault divorce.
Yep.
And legalized gaming.
Yep.
And look where we are now.
There was some other stuff happening here, too. But
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Yeah. I'm just saying, We're talking
Okay.
about history, you know.
We won't deny that there were other things,
Yes,
and we'll just leave it at that. Little
exactly.
asterisks.
Asterisks. Yes.
No, but I love our history because it shapes who we are. And I've said this quite a bit, but one of my favorite things about our community is that we are not afraid to take chances.
That is correct.
And we always lead with yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
if somebody comes with a good idea and willing to put in the hard work,
yeah.
you're never going to hear, well, that's not how it's done here.
Yeah. We're not risk averse.
Yes.
We're willing to look at the potential of what can come.
So you kind of already talked about your role at the City of Las Vegas, and then you moved over to Clark County.
Yeah.
And you were a staff of one for a long time.
I was for like 2 years. So I started at Clark County right before COVID hit. And so it was kind of like, oh my gosh, now what? But we figured out how to make it work, and started hiring people in 22, maybe. Yeah, about 2 years later. And we've been rolling ever since. Now we're a staff of 6, I think. So super excited. It's given us an opportunity to do lots of things and to focus on things, and I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff. But yeah, it's been a fun ride. We were able to restart our redevelopment agency, and so we got redevelopment stuff going on. We got economic development stuff going on. We got workforce development stuff going on. And so yeah, I have an amazing team. My team is absolutely amazing. Michael Walsh and Tom Nally and Kathleen Taylor and Arodi, and yeah, everybody is great.
Yep, I've really enjoyed. I know them outside of this space, but I've really enjoyed just working with them, and I couldn't say more. You do have an amazing team.
I got lucky because not everybody can say that they have a great team.
Okay, well, the county, especially unincorporated Clark County, is huge.
Huge.
And
1.2 million people.
Yeah.
If we were a city, we'd be the biggest city in the state.
But what do you think obviously this is where we're seeing a lot of the growth happening.
Yeah.
A lot of the land being developed. I live in the Southwest.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a new something popping up every other month.
Yep.
What do you think are some of the biggest untapped opportunities for the county?
Ooh, untapped opportunities. Well, since we're relatively new in this economic development space, some of the things that we have been looking at are opportunities to focus on innovation and technology, but not just innovation and technology, but really honing in on sports. You know, our community has seen a significant growth in sports over the past, 6 years, 7 years. And I think it's a market that has a lot of potential. You think about the Strip and our resort economy, there are tons and tons of small businesses, medium-sized businesses that came about because they were catering to the resorts. And our growth in sports, I think, provides the same opportunity for tons of small businesses and entrepreneurs to tie into that industry without directly being like an athlete or working even directly for the team. I think there are tons of different services that come with sports that we never even thought of that can become part of our economy.
Yeah, and I love that we just adapted to
exactly. You see, flexibility.
Sports and entertainment capital
of the world.
We called ourselves that, and everybody else started doing it too.
Exactly.
We owned it.
Yeah, nobody does it like Vegas, right? We took something that we were very good at, which we dominate, which is that entertainment piece, that hospitality entertainment, and we married that with sports, which makes sports in Las Vegas different and just absolutely amazing than any other place you go to, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody, like, have you ever seen a hockey game like that starts like the Golden Knights hockey game, right?
A full-on Cirque show.
Right? And even our aces, you know, they have their own, you know what I'm saying, intro video. I've never seen that at another NBA game, right?
So I do like that you're talking about small businesses because a
Yeah.
lot of them and entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
a lot of times those get overlooked
Yeah.
in economic development.
Very important to our
Um,
economy.
those are the most job creators are
Yeah.
happening in small
That's
businesses.
right.
Yes, everybody wants the 1,000 job organization, of course.
But our small businesses are really important to our economy, and they really fuel our economy, right? It's those businesses that have five, six, seven, 10 employees. That's a job for somebody. That's making sure somebody has a roof over their head,
Hmm.
and food on their table. So they're important to the economy. Yeah.
How do you think this like economic inclusion fits into the overall plan for Clark County?
For me, especially as a Black woman, economic inclusion is something that is very important to me. Growing up here, born and raised, like I know some of the history, how not everybody was able to participate in our economy, right? You have the trailblazers like Sarah Knight Purdy, who started the Moulin Rouge,
Mm-hmm.
and so I look at that legacy and think, okay, how can I do something, not obviously not on that scale, but do my part to make sure that everybody in our community has opportunity. And so we created a program called Seed Vegas, which if you go through Incubate Vegas, Seed Vegas will provide you with up to $25,000 to help you get off the ground and do some of those things that are really hard. And so really leaning into that, those qualified census tracts and some of those
Yep.
areas that traditionally have not had an opportunity to participate in our economy.
And I know for a fact that that first $25,000
Yeah, it's
is
hard.
the hardest money to raise.
And when you think about it, like most people who start a small business, they like raise capital through friends and family,
Yeah.
right? And if you're coming from a disadvantaged community
Mm-hmm.
and you're just trying to figure out how to put food on the table, like most likely you don't have friends and family that have that kind of
That's
money.
right.
And so I think providing this opportunity for those individuals is important.
And, just the going back to the very essence of being an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
this notion that friends and family are going to be your first stop
yeah.
is a very privileged way of thinking.
This is true.
And so I like that the county is playing a piece and kind of breaking down some of
Yeah,
these barriers
yeah.
because our citizens are smart, they're capable, they're
Yep,
eligible to build incredible businesses. They do need training,
yep.
they do need,
They need help,
knowledge,
right?
but I'm just really glad that you were able to
Yeah,
put that program together. So,
yeah, yeah. And the other thing that we're doing, Commissioner McCurdy, not too long ago in April, we broke ground on our micro business park, which is a mixed use
hmm
project, has affordable housing, 76 units of affordable housing, but the front part of that site will have a 20,000 square foot building that will serve as an incubator. We're calling it kind of, we're working in tandem with UNLV,
hmm
hopefully. But it will have on the second floor, similar to Blackfire, it will have makerspace, it will have training, it'll have computer labs, it will have all of the things that entrepreneurs would like to have a place to get started. They'll have a place to call home, and it's in historic West Las Vegas, traditionally where, again, where you don't see these type of programs traditionally run. This will be a permanent facility there that will offer small business support services, and it will have, like this, a podcast studio.
hmm
It will have a video studio. So people who are interested in doing different types of entertainment work or entrepreneurship, or if you're a small business and you need to cut a commercial, you'll have an opportunity to do that.
Um, I know that, 10 years out feels like a long time.
It's not.
It's not, because every time we talk to someone, like, well, we thought about that 20 years ago.
Right.
And so then I'm thinking to myself, so now it's a 40-year problem, not a 20-year problem.
Right.
So 10 years from now, like, where are you hoping Clark County is building and growing? And what kind of most excites you about being able to kind of help build it towards that?
Yeah. I'm hoping we have a more diversified economy, right? I think one of the things, well, for our era, right, I think COVID was was like a shock. Like we went through the recession and that was challenging,
Hmm.
but like during COVID, where we're at the top of the unemployment scale, and it was just like hard, like seeing the strips shut down and trying to figure out like unemployment for people. That was really hard. So I hope in 10 years we have a more diversified economy. That we're, look, I believe hospitality and tourism will always be our primary
Hmm.
industry. Um, but I think, especially like I said with sports, I think there are opportunities for other things. I think we're up there with the other secondary markets as far as opportunity for growth and development, as far as the things that are happening here. Part of it, I think, is our um, was because of sports, right? I think when you have major cities and even cities that are smaller than ours from a population standpoint that have professional sports, and then you looked at us and we didn't have that. But I think once we got sports, people really started to pay attention, and we're starting, or I think we're partly there in this phase where Vegas is no longer a tertiary market. Vegas is like a real place. A lot of people call this place home, and there's a lot of good deals and a lot of business that's happening here.
I, I've seen it just since I moved back. So I
Yeah,
was gone, and then during the
yeah,
pandemic, I moved back. And I actually, going back to this whole diversifying the economy thing, I no longer feel like it is just a sexy thing for elected officials to say in an election year.
yeah.
I genuinely think it is part of our map and roadmap
Is
forward.
yeah,
And
it
that makes
is.
me feel good
It is.
because we're all banding together saying,
Yeah.
how do we get the manufacturing here?
Yep.
How do we make sure our people are trained? Make sure we have a workforce.
Yep.
What other certification programs do we need to have our higher ed institutions do? And
Exactly.
get that in the pipeline now. So when we're
Exactly.
graduating people, we can already tell employers, oh, I've got 50 people graduating in
Exactly.
2 weeks.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and I think we're all trying to row the boat in the same direction
mm-hmm.
and tell the same story.
um, do we want to talk about the Innovation District?
Absolutely. Oh my God, it's so much fun, and this really is a an initiative that was brought to me by Commissioner Naft and Commissioner Jones. They were like, "Hey, there's some stuff happening in the Southwest. We think there's an opportunity there. Why don't you just kind of look into it, see?" And so we did, and obviously Blackfire's here in this area, and so we hired a consultant to help us kind of look and do a feasibility studies to help us understand what was happening. Sometimes when you do economic development, you have to be really intentional about creating a plan and direction, and so that's what we're doing. And so we're having some great conversations with stakeholders, those who are already in the innovation and technology space, about what an innovation district for Clark County can look like. What are some of the things that you need to be successful, and how the county can play a role in that? We want to build something that people can build upon and have pride in doing that.
And I think this will be a really good anchor
Yeah,
to bring more tech companies
it is.
because we are already um, focused on the workforce side.
Yep.
Shout out to Dean Rama
Yeah.
Dean Rama Van Cat
Yeah.
at
Yep.
UNLV.
Yeah. School of Engineering.
He has
Yeah.
literally blown that college up 900%
Yeah.
since he took over. And so he's graduating people, and I want them to stay
Stay
here.
here. Right.
And so that is our charge now to bring the right companies.
Exactly.
And you guys building the Innovation District gives us a home
Yep.
to slide them in. So it's a very symbiotic relationship.
I hope so.
No, I'm excited, and I want to be as
Yeah.
involved as possible because
Yeah, most definitely.
it is one of those things that will be crucial if we are. I mean, look at the announcement that happened recently. A16Z is
Exactly.
moving their companies
The
here.
corporation.
Yep.
Yeah.
and they've
And I heard a rumor. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe their co-owner, Ben Horowitz,
Mhm.
already lives here.
actually Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz both live here.
Okay,
Yes.
see? And so I look, they're right now you go to their website, it says their physical headquarters are in California,
That's right.
but I gotta imagine that there's an opportunity for us to have a conversation with them about, okay, let's start thinking about moving some, if not everything, some of your stuff over here. I mean, and we're naturally getting some of this stuff anyway.
Yes.
The regulatory climate in California is a hot mess,
Yes.
right? And like I can't tell you, we get numerous calls and emails from businesses who are like, look, I got to get out of California. It's not working for me. And so, I mean, that, that A16Z move and the fact that they were very intentional about it, right? They could have made that move very quietly,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that they were very intentional about letting people know that they were making that move and why they made that move, I think says a lot about our community and our future as a tech hub.
Yeah, especially because, like you said, they could have been quiet about it,
They could have just did it and just said, okay.
but they are the most, like, they are the biggest VC voice in the world.
Yep.
And they decided to be declarative.
Yes.
And then they took it a step further and told all their portfolio companies that they should also consider a move.
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, their portfolio companies.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Right.
Yes.
Like I want that
Yes.
deal flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see an influx, and I think this is a really good home for them.
Yeah.
Will be in the innovation district, and as
Yeah.
you guys start building that out,
Yeah.
I know you're thinking about it, but
Yeah.
now we know we're going to see some momentum.
Exactly.
So you've had kind of a fun career, municipalities, but you've also done some the real estate
Yeah.
side. So you've been in both.
Yes.
What's like one piece of career advice that someone gave you that really helped you kind of establish yourself in our community?
Relationships are important, right? Like the people who are doing things, we all know each other. We're all talk to each other. Like there's probably, they say what, 6 degrees of separation. There's probably 2 degrees of separation from picking up a phone call and talking and getting a piece of information or getting something done in this community. And I think that's why it's so easy for businesses to be successful here, right? One, your elected officials are very accessible. And two, even if you don't know the elected official, I'm sure you know somebody who knows the elected
That's
official, right?
That's right.
And so, I just think that we're a big city with, or let me say, we're a medium-sized city with big city amenities and small town appeal.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Medium city, big city amenities, small town appeal.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. I don't think I've ever heard it quite like that, but I
Yeah.
think that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I mean, we have everything that New York and LA has without the traffic and the drama and the
Yeah.
crime. And you can still have a decent conversation with somebody you need to have a conversation with to get done what you need to get done.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important, especially for small business.
You know, I want to go back to this like home. This is both our hometown.
Yep.
We both do this because we love it.
Yes.
What is one thing that you want people who live here, but more importantly, people who are considering here, to know that Southern Nevada has for it?
We're bright beyond the lights.
Where have I heard that before?
I know, right? No, I think it's the perfect tagline for our economic development and just in general, because most people who think about Clark County or think about Las Vegas or Southern Nevada, they only think about the Strip, right? And growing up, I used to spend a lot of time in New York. My mother was born and raised in New York, so I used to spend all my summers in New York. And I would always get, like, what, do you live in a hotel? Or, you always get the, like, crazy questions. No, like, we have a beautiful community of homes and parks and outdoor recreation. There are tons of things to do in our community that do not involve the Las Vegas Strip. And I think it's important for people to know that, right? Like, your kids come here. I went to high school out here, graduated high school, you know what I'm saying? There's education. All of the things that you see in other communities, we have those same assets as well. Museums and yeah.
And when we get to the rapid fire, I'm going to hear all your favorite spots.
Okay.
How many times do you hear, I had no idea?
what,
Just
once a week?
yeah. I feel like when I talk to people, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it wasn't until I came out there and left the strip
Strip.
that I realized you had all these things you just talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Wonderful communities to raise families in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Summerlin is
Summerlin
a
is
big
nice.
draw. I like taking folks out to Green
Green
Valley.
Valley. I live in the middle of the city and I'm kind of partial to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like really urban areas, but I also like to get to places quickly, right? And I don't live too far off the strip. I live close to UNLV.
Yeah.
And so I can get just about any place that I want to get relatively fast. Now, some of these new houses out way on the outskirts, the 40-minute drive, I was like, really? Like, but still,
That's not who we are.
right, right. But really, it's all like relative, right?
Yeah.
Because like 40 minutes in LA, like what are you driving? Like 10 miles, right?
Like 1.3 miles.
Right?
I
And
don't
40
know.
and 40 minutes here, it's all relative. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in the day where you can get from one side of town to the other in like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean,
And today, people's average commute is 25 minutes,
yes,
which is amazing.
amazing.
I live in Southern Highlands,
Yeah,
and I can get anywhere in 20 minutes.
yeah,
And I love it.
yeah,
Love
yeah,
it. Freeway access, amazing.
yeah.
I know people like to talk about the cones, but I have already been very vocal on this. Cones
The
equal
orange,
progress.
yeah, but come on now, like you got to you got to cut me a little bit of slack, right? I find a new route to work, and then that new route gets cones. I'm like, you're killing me. You are killing me with the orange cones.
If only we knew someone in RTC, we could
Right,
ask.
only.
MJ, we need you.
Right.
No, that's funny. Yeah, but
It does equal, because not all of it is street work, right?
Yeah.
It's some of those things represent new houses being built and new buildings being
Yeah.
built.
Fiber lines
Having,
going in.
fiber lines going in, all of those things, all the infrastructure that makes it possible for us to continue to grow. It's just frustrating when they do it all at the same time. Like when I-15 and the 95 were both, I was like, really? Like, could you do one or the other? Like,
Yeah,
do we
that's
have
fair.
to have both of them at the same time?
That's fair. Well, if there is, I see higher ed growing.
Yep.
I see an influx of manufacturing, tech companies, helping entrepreneurs.
Yep.
We already know that the city of Las Vegas is really focused on their medical district.
That used to be my project.
Yes?
It did. It did. I worked with Scott Adams on that project for 7 years before I left.
It's coming along.
It is. I'm really excited about the work that we did. It was my passion project. So even when I moved out of the economic development department and I did some lobbying for the city for a while, I kept that project because I was just so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And healthcare is something that's important. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I do like to, I've done some reflection on the last, even just 20 years.
Yeah.
Because we've seen such exponential growth.
Yeah.
And with that increased population growth, I mean, it was every decade we were getting a new member of Congress.
Yeah. But our healthcare hasn't kept up.
That is, well, so yes, that's
Which
where I'm
was
heading.
the impetus around the
Mhm.
medical school, right?
Yep.
And we were like really pushing to make sure that Southern Nevada had its own medical school, because we know that if we can grow our own doctors, they're more likely to stay here. One of the projects that we're working on that's going to happen here, is the Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're right now going through Clark County's concierge service, and so we're providing them with an opportunity to go through our regulatory process faster, because we understand how important healthcare is to our community. And so that hospital is going to be at the forefront, at least on the pediatric side.
Yeah.
And I think other things will start to follow after that.
We're almost done.
Okay.
But I would love for you to do a little reflection on all the projects you work on, and it might be the medical district, because I know that was your baby.
That was my baby for a while. Yeah.
But is there maybe it's not a huge project like that. Maybe it's somebody that you helped, or is there something that you think validated all the work that you're doing?
Well, the medical district definitely was a special project for me. Um, but I will tell you, the grants that we were able to provide during COVID for small businesses to make sure people were able to keep their businesses and stay afloat was really important. Like, I know there were people who had no clue like what they were going to do when customers stop coming, right? And for a lot of these businesses, this is either all they know or this is their lifelong dream. And we weren't able to save everybody. Like,
Mm.
some, there are a variety of circumstances for that. But there were a number of businesses, like when I get those emails from businesses that say, this little bit of grant money, right, really helped save my business, and they're so appreciative of the support that our community, that our commissioners were able to provide to them. That's something that really hits home, because that's the bakery you go to next to your house, right? To buy a cupcake. That's me, cookies and cupcakes, right? That's the small mom and pop. You go when, or you take your friends to, when you want, good Mexican food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the mechanic, that fixes your car and doesn't charge you to do that little bit extra. And so being able to make sure that those businesses, those small businesses, were able to stay afloat and continue to live their dream, was something um, really special.
Yeah, and it makes me feel good as well because we already said it. These are the people that are creating jobs. These are the
Yeah,
people that are hiring 1 to 7 people, and
yeah,
that's changing 7 families.
exactly,
And you can see very direct impact of that money. And so
exactly.
that's a really thank you for sharing that. This is the Home Means podcast.
Okay.
So I'd love to hear what home means to you personally, having been a native here, and now you are a very integral part of its current trajectory and its future trajectory.
What home means to me. Um, Home is a place where you are comfortable, where you have family, where you have friends, and where you feel as special as you want to feel.
I love that answer
Yeah.
because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I do feel that people can have those same feelings towards their hometowns,
Yeah.
but not with everything else you just talked about,
Yeah.
right? To have that feeling and to be a part of it and to be so connected
Yeah.
and to lead with yes and to help small business, like
Yeah.
it, they're really we're right beyond the lights,
Right. Beyond the
and
lights.
that is a really beautiful
Yeah.
beautiful sentiment. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
We are gonna get into some rapid
Oh, okay.
fire.
Okay. Hopefully I won't blow it.
We
All
gotta
right.
we gotta know all your favorites. So, what is your favorite local restaurant?
Hush puppies.
Excellent. What is a must-visit spot for newcomers?
I like to shop. Fashion show mall.
What is the best outdoor activity?
Ooh, I think we have really good parks here.
Yeah, I
Really
agree.
good, really good parks. Yeah. So hanging out at a park.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Park is my favorite. With the little lake, and they've now added pickleball courts. I don't play pickleball, but pickleball. I think pickleball is like new golf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I gotta learn.
What's your go-to coffee shop?
I'm not really a coffee drinker, but when I want to take people out for coffee, it's either Makers and Finders or Vesta
Mm,
downtown, both downtown. Makers and Finders has a couple of locations,
yeah,
but I go to the one downtown.
yeah, those are good. Favorite place to unwind?
My couch.
That is a popular answer. What's the best view in the city?
Ooh, up at Red Rock, up there by Red Rock Station. Before, yeah, I was here
Oh,
before
I
there
know
were
exactly what you're
houses.
about to say.
Right,
Yeah.
before there were houses, and you could go up there and park in a vacant dirt lot, and you could look over all of the city, and you could see all of the lights, and it was beautiful. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is a special view for sure.
yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do on the weekends?
Well, I'm a big Aces fan, so I like to go to Aces basketball games, watch a good basketball game. So, and shop, of course.
Most underrated perk of living in Nevada, but what if we said Clark County? Most underrated perk about living in Clark County.
24-hour everything.
Yes, that was the one thing when I lived in Europe that I was not anticipating. The grocery stores would close at 7 p.m.
What is that?
And people would be at happy hour with groceries. And I'm like, are you unwell?
What
And
is
they're
going
like,
on?
the grocery store closed. We had to go. And I was like, closed? It's 7:15.
Makes no sense.
No, I totally agree. 24/7.
Yeah.
You can live your best life.
All the time.
1,000%.
All the time. Yeah.
Well, this has been so lovely.
This has been fun.
I'm so grateful for you to give me some of your time, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful for all the work you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Yeah, and I look forward to continuing working with you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.